Hello. We are live. Beverly, do you want to lead the introduction? Okay, guys, I'm going to jump right in. We are live this evening in Kashaya's room. Beverly, go ahead. You can jump on in. Go ahead. Unmute yourself. There you go. Go ahead.
Okay, apparently my video was sticking. Sorry about that. And we are live. Welcome to Shaya's Room. I am Beverly Briggs, your host, and with me is Christine Brooke, our co-host. And we do have a guest which I will introduce in a little bit. I'm just reminding you that this is about you. This is about inspiring you. And we also love to be inspired by you. So leave your comments, leave your questions, and we would make sure and recognize you. There are times that the comments come up, but because you, our viewers, hadn't given, sorry about that, because you, our viewers, didn't give StreamYard the permission, we don't always see the name. So you can also drop your name so that we can recognize you by name. God told Jeremiah, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Right? And Richard Erkley, he said, mastery is not a question of genetics or luck. It's about following our natural abilities. And our natural abilities help us to understand what our purpose is in life. And tonight's topic is called to purpose. And so we have Mr. Nurse Midwife Eliel Briggs with us. And for those of you who may say, Beverly Briggs, Eliel Briggs, what really taking place, I really don't know him, right? No, I thought I knew him like all his life. I thought I knew him. I really thought I knew him. But then I put out an ad and I saw comments and I was like, who is this guy are they talking about? Y'all, I'm just kidding. This is my brother and I am very proud of him. And I do agree with the comments. Yes, I say, Eliel, is there anything that you want to introduce and say about yourself for those who are listening?
I just want to say good night, good night, good night. I want to say good night to you, Miss Beverly Briggs, who I don't know either. And I want to say good night to Miss Kristen Brooke. And I want to say good night to your viewers and to all who will be joining us tonight. And I just want you all to share the live because this is going to be a wonderful afternoon. We plan to have fun this afternoon.
Yes, we really do. So, like, share, and for those of you who are on YouTube, please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Yes, and we are not just saying good night, but we are saying good morning and good evening and good afternoon to all those who may be viewing on a different time zone. All right, so I took the liberty to take down some of the comments that was left under the advertisement. So I'll be reading a few before we go into the interview. So I am not calling most of the names, but there are two names that I call, and this one name that I'm calling his name because he is also a nurse, and he is such of a darling of a nurse. I was in a clinic that he is part of, and he the meds that I was on, they didn't have it at the hospital that I was in. And he would actually call me, do you need? Because when he goes to the other hospital, he's able to get it. And his name is Joseph W. Vincent. He says, Eliel Briggs, aka Prophet. No, if we go back to the text that I said before, right? God say, I know you in your womb. Since before you was in the womb, I knew you and I already give you a purpose before time. And that purpose is to be a prophet. That's what it says. You know, here's here, Eliel Briggs, aka Prophet. You will tell us how you get that name a little later on.
I'm not
Congratulations.
sure I want to.
Congratulations, chosen one. I pray that the
Wow.
Almighty God continue to order your steps as you continue to fulfill your purpose on your earthly journey. Stay prayed up and continue to shine, wise one. Much love and blessings to you and your family. And that was
Nice.
Vincent. Denise Israel. I want to believe, I call in her name because I want to believe that she is also a part of the system. And she says, welcome, Eliel. Welcome to this wonderful profession. Midwifery is an accomplished profession with the highest level of rewards, one of which is taking part in bringing another human being into the world. Do your best beyond expectations. And I know that your mother drilled in your hand, in your head, everything you do it to the unanchored of God. Everything you do, you make sure and give your best. And here's it, you are getting the same advice again. Right. I had the pleasure of being observed by him on the ward. Such a gentleman. I remembered 5 a.m. once. He is on duty. He would play his gospel, moving from bed to bed, singing along. And to me, honestly, the specific morning before my surgery, that was all I needed to hear. Mr. Briggs, you are a God sent. Stay humble as you are. So I'm guessing that this patient was so distraught that she found his voice was sounding good.
All right.
Eliel.
Yeah.
All right, says another one says, congratulations to him. I must say, best midwife ever. He is so kind,
Wow.
helpful, gentle, and understanding. He knows his job. He delivered my beautiful baby girl on the 6th of October 2021. Thank you,
Just
Midwife
one.
Briggs. Right? Another one said, well done and congratulations. Well done and congratulations. Know who I will be calling to deliver my next baby. And another one said, you delivered my baby and was very pleasant. I wasn't in a good mood because the doctor kept telling me about C-section. And you held my hands and pray with me. And I honestly needed that. May God continue to bless you and your family. Congratulations. And so these are the comments of persons. So before we go in, Lyle, and I start asking you questions, I'm going to say this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Joanne Edwards commented, and this was her comment. This is so cool. What's the response from females having a male midwife? And so, as we do this interview, this is the question for you, right? What makes a midwife? No, sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. Yes. So the question for you is: will you be comfortable having a male midwife deliver your baby? Will you be comfortable having a male midwife deliver your baby? And this question goes out to you out there. Give your answer. For the males that are on, would you be comfortable with a female, a male
A meal.
midwife delivering your wife's baby? Eliel, uh,
Yes.
you get it. You go into nursing. Tell me, why did you choose to go into nursing? Now, there are not much males in nursing. Now, we have a little more males, but it was more something that females do. Why did you choose to go into nursing?
Well, first of all, I didn't choose nursing, but nursing chose me. I know some people say these kind of statements, but I never wanted, ever dreamed of being a nurse. Actually, I wanted to be a, a mechanical engineer. I wanted to build planes and boats and cars.
Okay.
And for some reason, I didn't get physics and I didn't reach so physics was one of the subjects that you needed to get into mechanical engineering. And life wasn't going much fast for me, and I ended up working in a clerical position in the Manzanilla Health Center. And there, the nurses kept telling me, "Boy, why ain't going and do nursing? Why ain't going and do nursing?" And I was like, "Big man, don't do nursing, mom. I ain't doing no nursing." you know. And actually, around that same time, one guy from church started doing nursing as well. That's Mr. Ishmael Thompson. And it was like, hey,
Mm.
Ishmael doing nursing. And then, life really wasn't going nowhere soon. And I decided to take the opportunity and try nursing. And I must say, it was one of the best decisions that I ever made because nursing fit me like a glove. It's like second nature because I generally am a very caring person and I love to see people smile. I love to see people happy, and I love to see people improve. And nursing was like a avenue for me to be me, the person that I naturally am. And I must say, nursing have done a lot for me as well. Has brought me far, and I thank God for guiding me into nursing, which I am sure I would not have chosen on my own.
All right. Kristen, you have a question for him.
I
I
do.
don't want to.
I'm like, I don't
You
want
have
to.
been
I don't want to
quiet,
step
and I
on
don't want to
toes.
leave you. But before you ask him the question, we have a Facebook user who said, "Congratulations, Andel Charles. Hi, pleasant good night. Andel is here. Hi, Andel. Glad to have you all locked on. I'm glad to be here tonight. It's been a while. Yes, Andel, it sure has been a while. I use another Facebook user says, "Congratulations, Eliel. May the Lord continue to bless you. And good night. So proud of you, girlfriend." Okay. So, uh, so proud. Oh, Jesus. The phone is sticking. Give me a minute, please. All right. So it's a good night. So proud of you, girlfriend. This is with God at your side. Now, again, most of the comments we are seeing Facebook user. So that I cannot see who's sending the comments. I will read more comments a little later, but Christine will go ahead and ask a question now. Go ahead,
Okay.
Christine.
I have a lot of questions.
Wow.
I have a lot. So I'm not going to dive into all of them, but
Mhm.
I think that as a listener right now, I'm wondering what makes midwifery different than basic nursing? Like, what are those duties that are different?
So, okay. So, midwifery is actually a whole different career. It is not nursing. However, a prerequisite in most cases to midwifery would be nursing because you do a lot of nursing in midwifery. But midwifery actually is a specific area of care that deals with pregnant women, pre-pregnant women, pregnant women, women in labor, post-labor after delivery, and the care of the newborn infant. And there's a lot of teaching and a lot of other stuff involved, but it's basically dealing with the pregnant woman and her family actually, and before and after pregnancy.
Okay. That's interesting. So you also mentioned that you nursing fit you like a glove because you like to care for people and you like to see people happy and to see their health improving. What do
Yeah.
you do? How do you handle tragedy or a stillbirth or an injury to a baby or mother?
Well, it's not something that I have had a lot in midwifery. However, in nursing, I would have had a lot of that, and it's hard.
Mhm.
You have to deal with your emotions as a professional
Right.
because you could actually decide that you're not going to feel, but that's going to carry you down a road where you would not be sensitive towards your patients. So you have to feel, so you have to allow yourself to grieve over some of the losses you may have had in terms
Mhm.
of patients. I remember up to today I was talking about one of my patients I met at 8 years old. She was 12 years old when she died. And I went to that funeral and I cried like a baby. You know,
Mhm.
seeing the younger ones die as well is much harder than the older ones who may have lived their life and stuff like that. But you learn to deal with it um, by going through the normal loss and grief process. Because if you don't, you may turn out to be just another person who's there working but not feeling your patients. And
Mhm.
then this will cause you not to be the best that you can be.
Wow. Wow. Do you use tuning into emotions? And sorry, I'm kind of feel like I have a barrage of questions. I'll
That's
let
quite all right.
I'll, I'll let
I'm
Beverly
here to
do more of the
answer.
questions later, but just this one final question and then I'll take a break. But do you find that your emotions and being able to connect to your emotions and to your faith help you in your profession now?
They basically is what drive my practice because being honest with you, even as the system is as it is now, it's not easy for a nurse or a healthcare professional on a whole to practice because you have a lot of things that go out against you. And sometimes we as professionals could end up taking it out on the patients. And if you don't have that drive, that feeling for that patient, if you don't have God in you sometimes, because sometimes the patients themselves are very hard to deal with,
Mhm.
then it just becomes another job. And nursing is not just another job because it is too intricate, it is too wrapped up in people's lives to be just another job. It's not just carving something out of a dead piece of wood, it is patients' lives and livelihood. It is you meet these patients sometimes at their lowest, and sometimes you bringing a smile to their face is like is a wonderful feeling to know that here, this person was having a worst day, and when they saw me, they saw God, and they felt better.
That's
That's a
amazing.
wonderful thing.
Yes.
Nice. Sorry if you find I was distracted. I have been trying to get it on Facebook, and for some reason I'm not picking it up. Okay. So, Eliel, I
Yes,
know
ma'am.
that we you didn't just stay at nursing. No, you as we were talking, you are now a midwife.
Hmm.
Um, the question is why choose to go into midwifery? Now, again, you have now made uh what's the word, Lord?
History, I want to say.
History. You have now made history. Oh my goodness. And it's right there, no, but it's like evading me. You have now made history. You are the second male in Trinidad and
Hmm.
Tobago to become a
Hmm.
midwife. Uh,
Hmm.
why did you choose? No, before you even answer that question, now, Christian, I'm telling you, when he came and said he was a midwife, he and I argued over and over about this thing because to be calling a man wife, midwife is a female, not male, you know. Why would I want to say midwife? And so I'm like, listen, I'm calling you mid husband. You can say what you want,
Yeah.
husband. So before you answer the question that I asked before, answer me this, because you will explain to me what
Mhm.
midwife really means. So explain to us what midwife really means and why is it okay for a man to be also called a midwife.
Okay, midwife means with woman. So you are with this woman during her time, whether it is before, after, during labor. You are with this woman, helping her through this time. So the wife actually refers to the pregnant woman. So I'm with this woman. I'm the male midwife, the man with this woman during the time that she's going through her labor or whatever, what have you. Now, um, oh gosh, I just lost my chain of thought there. But what I was going to say is, if you say mid husband, then you'll be saying with man.
You'd be picking the men up off the floor when they pass out
We don't, we don't,
from
we
the height of
don't,
childbirth.
we don't deliver males. We deliver females in the labor ward. Sometimes, as you say, Kristen, sometimes we do have male patients when they come and they see the process. Some of them become patients as well. Yes, but our main focus is the woman.
Right.
Right.
Yes. What was the other question?
and 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 their child says, "Thanks for the information. I've just learned something new today." Yes, so
Yes.
we are learning new things because yesteryear we would need to know and understand the meaning of it because we're only females. And now that we have males, we need, these questions come up. And so, yes, it's good to always get educated on new things. Yes, so Eliel, nursing was not enough for you. Why did you choose to go and do midwifery? Why did you choose to be a midwife? Why
Okay.
did
So
you choose?
even though nursing, I love nursing very much. Bedside nursing is not really the best side of nursing for me. Now,
Mhm.
initially, I started off working in the health center as a clerk, and there
Right.
I used to go on home visits and stuff with the midwives there. They carried me, and it's something that I had learned to love before I came into nursing. And then it's a different vibe. You do a lot of teaching. I am very well into primary healthcare because I believe that prevention is always better than cure. I do a lot of teaching. I do a lot of teaching with my patients, and when you work in the community setting as the health centers, it's actually where I feel I do my best. And
Right.
I had asked for a transfer to the community. And what they told me is that I was there for a while, but on temporary assignment. They told me that I needed to make myself qualified to work there. And one of the ways of doing that was doing midwifery. Now, mind you, I never wanted to be a midwife because
Mm.
when I was doing nursing as a student, I had passed through the same ward that I'm working on right now, and on a rotation, and I was grossed out at deliveries. I was like, no way, are they getting me to do this thing? Too much blood and blood. I can't handle this thing at all. But
Mm.
when the time came and I realized that it was the way to move on, I said, well, Lord, if that's what I have to do, I have to do it. And I decided to go and do it. And lo and behold, it was totally different for me when I started the course. It was like I don't know if it's because I had the more information because we did the theoretical classroom first before we went out on the wards, and it was a bit exciting stuff.
Okay.
And then it just grew on me. Like, I don't know, I know I prefer midwifery to nursing, the normal med surgical nursing. It's really a special field, and it has opened my eyes to a lot of female concerns, because it's really a profession that is geared towards helping and empowering women. And even during labor, even looking at the process of what a woman's body goes through to carry this child, it's really, really something else. And sometimes we take it for granted, the roles that women play in our society. And now I see even more clearly how we need to have causes that champion women, and the roles they play, and the causes that, some of the stuff that they go through, and how to help some of the women who are being negatively affected by the society, with their living conditions, their family situations, and stuff like that. And midwifery is a very good right place where we can meet these women in their even in their homes, when we do home deliveries and stuff, and better able to help them. And it's a wonderful thing to help people again. And midwifery is a wonderful profession, and I would tell any nurse who has felt that they have done enough on the wards, go and do midwifery. It's a wonderful profession. Hats off to all the midwives.
Hats
It's
off to
also
you,
not very
Albert.
easy, because it is
Mm-hmm.
very how put it, you have a lot of energy in terms of when these women going through these serious, painful cycles, you realize that it is not something easy, and you as the midwife as well sometimes feel that pain with them. Sometimes I catch myself pushing, when I push, and I pushing too. I don't know what I'm pushing. When we push, because you're in this with them, and the thing about it is a really good time to help women. Is a good profession that could help women.
Mhm.
Nice.
Childbirth
Good
is
to hear
something
that.
else. It's an experience like no
It is.
other. If you haven't ever seen a childbirth, you really don't understand what it takes to get a human being to be on earth outside of the body.
And looking at it
Yeah.
from a video does not really give a real perspective as to what the woman really goes through.
No,
You know,
not at all.
Right.
as I was saying before, I know came out of a delivery. I delivered a baby at 7:20 tonight, and it's the same thing. You see these women go through some stuff, and it's amazing.
Now, Mr. Briggs, what is the difference between a midwife and a doula? Do you guys have doulas there?
Yeah. Hats off to doulas, by the way. Doulas are great people, lovely. They did what doulas are actually assistants to midwives. So they don't actually deliver babies, but they understand the birthing process, and they are the ones that work with the patient. So they would encourage the patient with anything they need in terms of psychologically, even with the pain. They have a lot of techniques that they use to help alleviate pain during the process without medication, and they do a great job. And their presence actually help to lower the mortality and and morbidity rates in women and newborns. they are very good at what they do, and once they do the job the way it's supposed to be, they make a big difference. But they are not there to deliver the babies.
Okay. I was
Okay.
just reading an article about male midwives in the United States and how they help people of color lower mortality and morbidity rates.
Okay,
Male midwives
okay,
specifically.
that's
Yes.
up.
Yes.
Uh,
Male
so,
midwives rock.
so in one of the comments that I have read, uh, one of the women was saying that they were under some real pressure. They were not in a good mood because they were being sort of pressured by the doctor to do C-section. I know that today, I have a sister who is a doctor, friends who in it, and I know that today we have so much more C-sections than we had yesterday. So, being a midwife now, does it put you in place to be able to uh, help women to be able to give a natural birth rather than do C-section? Would you be able to help, as I said, to help women in that aspect?
The answer is yes, and in many ways more than one. And this is not going against the doctors and their sections and stuff. Now, first we have to understand that a midwife is a profession is different to that of a doctor, and they have their special place in the laboring woman's life. For instance, a healthy woman who has no complications can be seen after by a midwife and a midwife alone through the whole process.
Hmm.
The midwife actually is trained to deal with a well woman. These are low risk women, and help and deliver these babies and things on their own. The doctor, the obstetrician comes in when you have more, morbidity setting in. You have sickness, illness, comorbidities like diabetes, high blood pressure, anemia, um, preeclampsia, stuff like that. The doctor is then needed. Now, the doctors have their protocols that they follow that help them to decrease the morbidity and mortality rates. So they will always do what they follow their protocols. And if they see red flags, they will call and they will say, here's what we advise that you have this section because we think that will protect you and your baby from hurt. No, it doesn't say that. Sometimes we have sections that are being done unnecessarily. Maybe they do. I don't have the research or the information to say like how much or what have you. But just so we could also think that the health of the population itself has is not as it used to be back then. And I look at some of the women when they come in, sometimes it's their first baby and they could barely make. And sometimes they do need the intervention from the obstetricians more than used to be or more than previously. So I can't say that there's any ill thing going on there. However, the midwife, one of the male roles of the midwife is health education and teaching. And if we could meet these women from even pre pregnant states and explain and encourage them to make lifestyle decisions that will bring their bodies into a state where they can be able to safely and effectively bear children, then again, we'll have lower rates of C sections and in obstetrician interventions. So, yes, the midwife can help, but the midwife needs to empower this woman to understand that she has to make certain decisions that will put her in a place to be to of betterment.
And Mr. Briggs, are there some things that you would recommend for a healthy pregnant woman, or like walking near the end of her
Mm-hmm.
pregnancy, to begin labor, or just to remain healthy. We're not talking about high risk pregnancies or pregnancies with restrictions, but what are some things that women should be doing to make sure that when they get to labor that they're ready?
Right. So this starts even before pregnancy. As I said, this starts in the, what we call preconceptual stages of a woman's life. Before pregnancy, you need to be able to manage the body that God has given you in such a manner that you can be able to bring forth children without complications. Complications come through sickness and illness in most instances. And sickness and illness comes when you don't have proper lifestyle attitude, lifestyle habits. So I want to encourage every woman. First of all, diet and exercise is number one in terms of having a healthy body. Diet and exercise. When
Right.
you look at a woman's body, it is managed by hormones, and we eat a lot of meats that have high hormonal content because of course they're using hormones to make these meats grow faster, the animals grow faster. So these things affect the way your body function. So you notice that you have a high levels of ovarian cyst like PCOS and
Mm,
we call these kind of fibroids and stuff like that. You
Mhm.
have high levels of these in the community. So when you have these things, you're sure that it's going to affect your pregnancy. So you want to be also, the exercise helps as well to maintain and balance hormonal levels in a woman. It's You need to exercise. The walking doesn't start in pregnancy. The walking starts before. Every day, pregnant or not pregnant, you need to be walking. And of course, when you are pregnant, you have to continue the exercising. There are specific exercise that helps that, you find somebody who doing Lamaze classes. If you don't have the money, you could go up online on YouTube, and there's a whole wash of videos you could choose from to do some exercises that will help to put your body in that place to to deliver a healthy baby with minimal complications. Yes.
Thank you.
okay, thank you very much. Welcome to all our viewers tonight. You are tuned in to Shire's Room, and I am
Glad to
Beverly
see
Briggs,
Mr.
your
Corey
host.
George. I just have to shout him out. That's a very good friend of mine.
Nice. Good night. Good evening, Corey. And I am Beverly Briggs, your host, and with me is my co-host Kristen Brooke, and our guest tonight is nurse midwife Eliel Briggs. Yes, remember, we always encourage you to leave your comments and your questions. Be a part of this discussion. And the question still goes out: are you comfortable as a midwife deliver your baby? So, Eliel, change is inevitable.
Hmm.
Yet, for some reason, we as human beings fight against change. So, I know that you had some challenges that you had to face uh, moving forward with becoming a midwife. You want to talk about those challenges because for me, I wonder because we have majority of the gynecologist, gynecologists that I know,
Gynecologists. Hmm.
gynecologists, yeah, that I know
Hmm.
are males. They are
Hmm.
males, right? And to a great uh, extent,
Extent.
we have accepted it. Yeah, we have accepted it.
Hmm.
We have
Hmm.
accepted it. And so
Hmm.
now that there is problems there are some few problems that persons are having with midwife. You You want to talk about that or talk on that?
Well, um, it was a bit strange for me that that I had some issues getting into midwifery at one point in my course of training, and well, first of all, I must say that God is bigger than everything, you know. And for folks out there listening, if God has put something in your heart to do, you do it without fear, without favor. You do what God has put you to do. I just continued doing what God had put in my heart, and He worked everything out. Yeah, I live today to be closer to Him, to closer to my family through the struggles that I went through becoming a midwife. But you know, it I think the world or the country, maybe that's where I have trained here, probably is at a better place now that it has passed. I hope to see that other males joining the profession don't have to go through the same thing. But the women themselves, the patients, they seem to me to love having a male midwife. And I'm not here trying to boast or anything. I think that because I've worked now you all know there's another male midwife, Mr. Kern Ramnath. He went before me, and I must shout him out tonight. He stood with me through everything, through thick and thin. He helped me. People wouldn't know how far he went to help me, and I want to publicly say I am so grateful to Mr. Ramnath today. And when I passed my exam, I told him we did it. We did it because he really helped me a lot. Um, yes, but the women themselves, they are very comfortable with us in most instances. I could more or less count on one hand in my couple of years practicing midwifery. I could count on one hand the amount of women that wasn't comfortable, or that I realized wasn't comfortable with me as a midwife, with them as a male. And no matter where you go, you will have that. The doctors face the same thing as well. Because there are some women up to today on the ward, there's a patient that she didn't want the male doctors, and she didn't want me around in her care. And that is okay, because you must be comfortable when you're going through this process. And if you are not, we give you what you require, what you desire, as long as we can do that. Because if it's me alone in a situation, there isn't much I could do. But as long as there's somebody else, of course, we don't want anybody feeling anyhow. We want you as comfortable as possible so we could get the best result. And but the women have shown and I guess you saw a lot of the comments on Facebook.
Yes, yes.
They have shown that as a matter. Sometimes I remember patients come to me and say, "Where were you when I needed you?" And what are you talking about? Yes, I wanted you to deliver my baby, and you get that a lot and no other midwives as well, not just male midwives. But for me, as a male midwife, that means a lot. It goes to show that the women don't have a problem with me as a male, but it's more or less how you do your job. If you do the job to the best of your ability, and you make people comfortable, and you help them to go through their time, you realize that oh boy, look, Miss Bengushi, she was my patient once. Well, I think her brother was
She
my
says
patient.
she
Yes.
says best
Good
nurse
night,
ever.
Good night, Miss Bengushi. Yeah. And yes, the quality of care that you give, I believe, is what's gonna make the difference, and not whether you're male, female, black, white. Is the quality of care. And as you say, mommy always told us, do your best. Whatever your hand find to do, do it with all your might. And I bring my A game for all my patients. I do. I try my best at this.
Yeah. Uh, for a guy who was almost tossed into midwifery, uh, you had a determination. You had to do the exams. How much times? About 3 times you had one of the exams to do in order to pass
Yes.
it. And
Mm-hmm.
you learn to trust God, and you were able to continue to know, hey, I'm not giving up. I know I can do this. Talk to us and tell us how that was for you. Before you go into it, my bestie is
Mm-hmm.
locked on. She say hi Colleen, nice to have you locked in. And
Hi,
we
Colleen.
have Sherry Cooper, who just came in. She's an avid supporter. She said, I came in late. Better be late than never. Thank you for locking in with us. Our Facebook user says, God's people do proper work, although you never do none for me. Eh? They'll.
Ah,
Okay,
Lord.
so that is who said that, you can pop in your name so he can know who it is telling him that he didn't do anything for them. Because we just seen you as Facebook user. Yes, Eliel, go ahead and answer the question.
And that
How was
question is referring to me and my exams, right? Now, I had failed the practical exam twice. First time, three of us had failed that exam out of the whole country, in the whole and the whole cohort. And the second time, myself, one alone, had failed the exam. And
mm,
I started to argue because I know my mommy don't have any dunce children, and I don't consider myself the dunces in the lot. I considered I rated myself a little more than that at the point in time, and
mm,
it hit me very hard. It hit me so hard that when I went back to Port of Spain to do the exam because I had done it, the two exams in Sangre Grande because of the COVID. But having failed the two exams there, I was advised, and I took the advice to go and do it over in Port of Spain and see if I get a better result. And when I went there, I had lost all my self confidence. I lost everything. I didn't know myself. I used to come to work, I come in early and doing my best, and like nothing wasn't good enough. People were saying all kind of things about your brother. I was down
mm,
there. I think that's one of the worst places I've been for a while. And I was like, I was flat on my back. But I never stopped trusting God. This actually God alone was having me going. Because I have been so through so much before, and I know that He doesn't give up on His people. He had shown me in many ways more than one that this is what I want you to do. And I know in my heart, if God be for you, nobody could be against you. He said that
mm,
when He opened a door, nobody could shut it. If He shut a door, nobody could close it. So I believed that it would work out, but I wasn't seeing how. And
mm,
I questioned myself as a nurse. I thought I was the worst nurse. I couldn't make it as a midwife. And I just was
mm,
going through the motions. And then
mm,
it happened that um, God, God directed me to fast. And
mm.
3 days into fasting, Mr. Ramnath and all started fasting at night. I tell you, the guys really supported me. And
Mm.
3 days into fasting, God started to reveal things to me left and right as to what was happening with me, why things were happening. And, you know, by the third day, everything just changed. I got back my confidence. I felt like if I was somebody again. And I went down there, and even though my exam wasn't the best in terms of I didn't feel the confidence that I had felt in my previous exams. It was it was the one exam that I passed, you know, and God really touched my heart with that. He showed me how how he works in mysterious ways. Because I also was saying, these people doing me this and these people doing me that. I was saying that to myself and to some others. Not much because I don't really talk much about these things. But God said to me, if you are my child and I allow this to happen to you, why are you not okay with it? And it's when I understood that God was carrying me through this for me, is when things really went much better for me as well. And I just want to take this point in time to encourage somebody. You might be going through something. Don't for one day feel that God doesn't know and God doesn't see and God doesn't understand.
Mm.
Everything that we go through in life is preparing us for something bigger, something better. And if we fight against the things that we go through, the adversity that we go through, if we fight against it, then what will happen to us? We will lose out on the blessing that it brings in the end. So we just have to keep pushing through, believing that God is He who He said He is, and He will make a way. I lived to see the day when I was walking at home, and I felt like if my Bible was glowing on the shelf. I went and opened the Bible, and when I opened the Bible opened to Psalms 94. Psalms 94 started out, O Lord, to whom vengeance belongeth, Lord, to whom vengeance belongeth, show thyself. And when I read that first two lines, I closed my eye and started to cry. Because it's like if for the first time I felt like, God, you already seen what I going through. And God showed me that here's what. I am taking you through this for you to be a better person. And today I could promise you, because of that, I am a better man. I am a better husband. I am a better nurse. I am a better midwife. I'm a better everything that I am involved in because of that process that I went through. And I just again I want to encourage persons, don't feel that for one day God not seeing your pain, He not hearing you when you cry out to Him. He is there. He's allowing you to go through this because He wants to make you ready for the bigger job that He has for you.
That's
So courage
amazing.
us.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. I have something that's on my heart. When
Go
you
ahead, sweetheart.
are explaining how God helped you through that, I can't help but in my mind see like you saying God was telling me I had to push through that. And literally that aligns with what you're doing today. That pushing through is
Yeah.
like literally symbolic of a woman in labor, right? Birthing success.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
Yeah, I like the analogy.
the the
Mhm.
the fact that you are bringing lives into the world and you're a believer, in my mind hearing your
Wow.
story allows me to see it in a way that is faith driven. And what I mean by that is you are literally bringing life into the world, but it is not you.
No.
You are a vessel.
Yes.
It's God that allows this life to come into being, and you are a vessel. And so instead of you passing that test the first time and passing that test the second time, you had to know as a man of faith that it was God the whole time.
Yes.
And that's where you got your clarity. And
Yes.
that just makes it so powerful for me. So I just want to say thank you so much for sharing that, because it was, for me, it was as much literal as it was symbolic. That,
It was the best part
yes.
of my experience so far.
Somebody's
Sorry
calling
about
him.
that.
Duty calls. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Duty is over for today.
Oh Lord. Yes.
Yes, yes.
So
But
uh
I really love, sorry, Shaya, but I really love how you put, I never saw it that way. But that is exactly what happens, because even with my deliveries, I put God in control of the deliveries, and I let these women know that you need to call on God, you need to cry out to God, you need to, because He is the one that is gonna do this for you. He has started it, He's gonna bring it to a completion. And every delivery that God gives me, I look at it as that I don't deliver anybody who God didn't ordain me to deliver. He literally works out everything
Yes.
specifically, and I know I deliver the patients that I was supposed to deliver. I meet the people that I supposed to meet, and God touched people through me, and because He has His people who He wants to get touched at that moment and that point in time, and I love the way you put that analogy, and it makes my life feel even more meaningful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
yes, God says, call upon me and I will show you great and mighty things that you know not of. And He surely is always there for us, working things out. Um,
You're Facebook famous.
Oh,
Are
yes,
you
do
still
you see?
on? Yes, I'm
You see
live.
how yes. So Jimmy Narayan was the person who said you never did anything for him. Jimmy is
oh. Well, tell Jimmy he needs to bring a baby for me to deliver. I can't help him otherwise. That's my good old school friend.
Mm, and Jimmy is also the son of a very, very excellent nurse, actually. She was there
Yes.
with me through one of my deliveries, and she held my hand and she spoke to me and kept me calm through one of
Uh,
my deliveries.
and his aunt, Miss Alina Manuel, is one of the midwives who literally held my hand through the process of me learning. And no, I don't want, I started by calling her name, but there are so, I don't know if I want to give me 20 minutes to call everybody's name.
Boy,
There's, there's
right?
so much persons
Hmm.
that have helped me through this program. And I really, really, I don't know, I may have to do a Facebook post someday and thank them. But everybody means a lot to me. Once you have touched my life, I will never forget you. And there are so much of them that has touched my life and has made my progress so much easier. I really had to thank all the midwives, every single midwife that helped me. I want to thank all my family, my wife and my kids who touched me. I see, I have a son, Mr. Nathaniel. Daddy, he want to know what delivery I do. He want all kind of thing. He want to know every day when I'm working, what time I'm working. He's always there to greet me when I reach home with hug and love, and then even my mom and them, that's my family on that side. But then I have my um
In, in-laws.
in-laws. They have
Mhm.
literally been with me since before I started nursing, and they have helped me as family. I don't feel them to be in-laws. I feel them to be family, like blood relatives to me. I really want to thank them for all the support they have given me. Um, I want to thank, of course, God. Of course, that's the first person I need to thank. He has been my one and only rock. When I mean rock, you know the word faithful. Faithful is like God. He has never left my side. He has literally never left my side. I could short say now that my faith is strong in God because He has been there through it all. He has always been, no matter what I was facing. I remember days when I eaten mango, become when I was doing nursing because I have nothing to eat, and God was with me through everything, guiding me, bringing me, and up to this day, I was going through the posts on Facebook, a little mushy guy, a little emotional fella, and seeing the way people see me in the comments and thing that I saw, it was really touching, and I had to again, thank God. You see, God, you have brought me this far. And He said that He'll prepare a table for us in the presence of our enemies. He'll anoint our head with oil, and our cup will be running over. And I want to admonish anybody, don't take think twice to put God first in your life. Put Him, let Him control your life. He's the best that He said He died for us to have life and have it more abundantly. And abundant living is not living with plenty money. And I could tell people I'm the richest person in the world, but I don't have any money. You understand? God has been carrying me through step by step by step, and I will looking to see again what again God could bring, because every time it's getting better and better. What again you going to bring, God? What you going to bring? I'm waiting to see the blessings that He has for me still. And again, I also want to say thanks to everyone who has touched my life throughout this process of becoming a midwife.
Uh, we have Sister Debbie Carabello and some others joining
Bye.
in to give God. Thank you. Joining in to give God all the praise and the thanks also with us. Persons are saying amen, yes. So Mr. Corey, he's talking about a praise break. Mr. Corey, don't start us. Don't start us now.
Yeah, that's why he don't know where he started. This is
You
breaks.
know the family
He's
that
dealing
he
with
come from.
breaks.
Oh, when I think about Jesus and all he done for me, I want to dance, 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 dance. All that. When we start, so don't
Tell
start us.
Corey
But
he's not the only song leader here. You don't let me go for my guitar.
yes, but we have made time flies so much. We have made the
Yeah.
hour, and we have a little past the hour. I can say a lot of things about this guest that I have here, and you will may say, okay, well, she's saying all these things because that's her brother. But
You have to.
comments and stuff don't lie. I put out, and Christine, I don't know if you pay attention to that. I always advertise, and yes, I get persons who likes and give comments. I was so shocked when I went on today, and shocked and not still not too shocked when I went on today, and there was 100 and something comments, 360 something persons who reacted, and there were 60 something shares. And that's just enough to tell you how much my brother is liked and how much he is a people person. And all the comments were really great comments. There were lots of persons who congratulate you. And of course, Christine and I join in to congratulate you. And Christine, do you have any last words that you want to say, or question that you want to ask? Because we do have to wrap up. It's a little past the hour.
Absolutely. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for letting me co host tonight and ask all of the questions that I had to ask, to be blessed to hear this story and to be able to encourage people to get a male midwife and it's not a mid husband.
No.
But it's been a pleasure, Mr. Briggs.
Uh,
Thank you so much. I look forward to your retirement party one day. I fully plan on being there, and I wish you much success throughout your career and wherever God leads you. I know that it will be blessed and it will be full of his abundance. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us and enlighten the world on what it is people like you do. Thank you for being a pioneer.
Thank you for having me. It was a wonderful pleasure being here, and I enjoyed it. And I didn't mind going out an hour, you know.
yes. So since you don't mind, right? Since Corey says, I like the contribution Christine made a short while ago, making that a spiritual link. And I'm sure he was speaking about the
Pushing
analogy
through.
that he gave earlier on. And yes,
Hmm.
it was a really, really
It was
awesome
beautiful.
analogy.
You have a very
Yes,
nice mind.
Well, thank
Hmm.
you.
yes.
I've been blessed
So
with it.
so we started Christine, right? With
Hmm.
a that said God ordained this young guy, like he ordained Jeremiah before, and he made him a prophet. Since you don't mind
I was waiting for this moment.
continuing, continuing the interview, I would love for you to share with me why they call you a prophet.
Okay. So I don't know if you all ever heard this song, "Pretty Boy Fella."
No. Mm-mm.
No, it's a song. It's a song sung by a local artist called Prophet Benjamin. So in
Okay.
my early days, now when I was doing nursing in nursing school, I stayed at the nurses' hostel, where we no, believe you me, that was one of the some of the best days of my life. With the hostel boys, we had a lot of fun, and we playing cricket a day, and I just wasn't feeling good. I feeling and all the ball passing me, and I just really was waiting to bat. I don't really too interested in feeling. And one of the guys say, "Boy, how you feeling like a pretty boy so?" And from that, they start calling me pretty boy, and then after they call me pretty boy fella, then they started calling me Prophet Benjamin, and it went back now to Prophet. So that's just the long and short behind the name Prophet. But I I like that people had called me Prophet because we used to have a lot of religious and spiritual talks, and I used to really give them some good talks in the hostel when it comes to that. So they used to call me Prophet as a real prophet now. After that now, that's that's
So
the
you
long
made
and short.
you made a you made a good comeback. Right. Colleen says, wonderful testimony. God bless you on this journey. Congrats. And
Thank you
so
very much.
this was another episode of a living testimony. And Eliel Briggs is a living testimony of going through adversities and facing it with resilience and determination and making history, becoming the second male midwife in Trinidad and Tobago. Congratulations, my brother. I'm very proud of you. And I was very elated to have you on tonight to come back out. And my first interviewee is my brother. It's really a pleasure. It's really a pleasure for me. So
Yeah, I
thank you
realize
for
you have
being
style. You have style. You know, maybe in the first person back out. Yeah, you made a wise choice.
Mm, yes, and so one of the things, Christine, I'm going to tell you, my brothers are full of themselves.
Ah, Lord, here
So
she goes.
maybe
Here
one
she
of these
goes.
days we will have a sit down and talk with all my brothers. I'll try and get my brothers to come up on a. My brothers are full of themselves.
No, sister,
Um,
we are filled with the Holy Ghost.
They know whose
you
they
would,
Holy
are.
Ghost. Holy Ghost power.
but you understand? Yeah, you understand? You understand? Ready, a ghost. But everyone, thank you for coming on and supporting. Thank you for your comments, for your congratulations. Do have a blessed one. Until next week, Tuesday, when we come back on with another inspiring testimony. Do have a blessed one. Bye for
Good
now.
night. Bye bye.